Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week. I had a pretty solid week, back up into the middle teens. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting it off with my least favorite of 16 movies, which is The Mummy. One of the themes of the week as well. Also, shut up, Betty, if you can still see her, depending on if the mummy is covering it or not. But hi, kitty. Anyways, The Mummy with Tom Cruise from 2017. Not a fun movie to sit through at all. 22 out of 100. Similarly, really not much of a difference. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. It gets kind of weird in this franchise, going from the first to the third, or this trilogy, I should say, I guess, because, yeah, this is weird. We've got mummies and Egyptian dragons and Chinese dragons and, yeah, 32 out of 100. Let's move on to Tales of the Black Freighter, which is technically a short film. You can read my review, but this is a part of Watchmen, which I watched for the first time today. Well, at the time of recording is today. Tomorrow for you guys, or yesterday for you guys, sorry. But we'll talk about this more in a moment when we get to Watchmen. Just bear with me. But I did not enjoy this story, 35 out of 100. Well, let's move on to Godzilla, which I've been wanting to watch this movie for quite a while now. Finally glad I got to see it. Ranked at 39 out of 100. I did not enjoy it, to say the least. And don't mind if you hear Betty crumpling bags, because she's just walking on bags right now. Betty, are you good? Anyways, yeah, Godzilla, which I ranked at 39 out of 100. I did not enjoy it. I enjoyed a few of the cast members from it, mostly Matthew Broderick, but yeah, I just didn't really enjoy this movie, and I think it's a very bad portrayal of Godzilla, and it's literally just a Jurassic World movie at best, which those movies aren't that great either, so yeah, not a big fan of those, to say the least. And yeah, the character design, of Godzilla himself, I really didn't enjoy either, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, let's move on to The Lighthouse, one of the biggest movies of the week, one that I really did not enjoy, for the most part. A 60 out of 100, mostly because of its ominous effects and the tremendous acting from Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, but I don't understand the appeal about this movie, and the payoff at the end is literally no payoff at all, especially not for me. Even the siren or the mermaid, there was really nothing in that story that I was just expecting more. I don't know, I just didn't love this movie. I ranked it a 60 out of 100. But, unfortunately, I didn't like really any of Robert Eager's movies, so maybe they're just not for me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to get them. I don't know. It sucks. Let's move on to Companion, a pretty popular, probably the most popular 2025 release so far, which is interesting to say. But yeah, 60 out of 100 as well. I didn't love this one either. I think it's a pretty smart movie tackling some very interesting issues about men. But I feel like it doesn't even dive deeply enough into those themes. But I still think it's a smart movie, nonetheless, so cool, I guess. 60 out of 100. Moving on to Empire of Light, which is another one of the themes of the week for me, going through Sam Mendes' filmography. I have a few more of his films that I want to go through that I might do this week, we'll see. But yeah, Empire of Light, I ranked as 67 out of 100. Had a pretty solid time with this. Olivia Colman is tremendous, and I feel like everyone in this movie had some very solid acting performances that I really enjoyed. And plus, a film about film is always a thumbs up. 67 out of 100. Let's move on to The Mummy Returns, which is the second of the Mummy trilogy, which I ranked a 69 out of 100. And yeah, this one was okay. It's pretty similar to the first. It's just not as good. There's still, I think, a decent amount to enjoy here. I do think it's a pretty fun time, but I just don't think it's as good as the first. 69 out of 100. Let's move on to Watchmen, which is something I've been putting off for a long time, something that I've wanted to watch with Ryan for a long time. Finally watched it with him yesterday for you guys on Sunday. And I will say I enjoyed it, but we did watch the ultimate cut, which I feel like that might have tampered my ranking because unfortunately this made this movie 3.5 hours, and I really felt the runtime. That almost adds an hour of runtime, and I really felt it going through this movie when we were watching it together. Betty, man. Anyways, I really felt the runtime for the 3.5 hour runtime. So I'm gonna eventually, maybe this year, maybe next year, rewatch it, but watch the theatrical release to see if that kind of vibes with me a little bit more. I feel like I would like it more because, like I mentioned earlier, one thing added in the ultimate cut is Tales of the Black Freighter, which I just didn't enjoy, and I feel like the story is really meaningless and it doesn't add anything to our Watchmen story. So yeah, that really loses it loses a lot of points for that because I really just didn't enjoy that, which is why I ranked it so low. But yeah, 71 out of 100 for Watchmen. Like I said, I did have a good time with it. There's some early Zack Snyder sauce in this. You can see some very awesome Zack Snyder shots. I mean, you can see the backdrop here that I chose. Rorschach, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I don't remember, to be honest. Rorschach is really, really awesome, and he became I think he's literally becoming one of my favorite DC characters after this watch. So he's got some very cool scenes, very cool moments, and he's a big reason as to why I enjoyed this, especially since a large portion of this movie is centered around him, which I did enjoy. So yeah, I'm glad I watched this finally. Wasn't really disappointing. It didn't really exceed expectations either, though. So it was good. I enjoyed it. I just think I'd enjoy the theatrical release more, but time will tell. We'll see. Also, I didn't rank it on Letterboxd as the ultimate cut because it doesn't even show how many members have watched the ultimate cut, which means there's a really low number of people that have watched it. So I just decided to throw in the regular Watchmen because whatever. Anyways, let's move on to Revolutionary Road, Sam Mendes film with a 78 out of 100. It's pretty solid. I definitely enjoyed this movie with some very powerful acting performances throughout a failing marriage, and really just seeing it continue to snowball downhill. It's a solid and sad movie, really, but I enjoyed it. 78 out of 100. Plus, Kate Winslet and Leo are both very great, obviously. I'm sure you know that. All right, let's move on to another 78 out of 100, which is Field of Dreams. This has been a movie that's been on my watch list for a really long time. Like, I feel like I remember, like, even thinking about this movie back in high school, so it's been, like, 6 years. And I really wanted to watch this movie. I don't really know why. I'm not even a baseball fan. I don't like baseball at all, really. I played baseball when I was really young, stopped because I wasn't enjoying it. Tried it again to play with some friends one summer, and I literally only played for like 3 weeks. I just stopped showing up because I didn't enjoy it. So, but this isn't really, I mean, it's a lot about baseball, but it's not really about the sport itself. So I think that's maybe why I enjoyed it. I don't know. Either way, I had a good time with this movie, and it was a really feel-good story that I enjoyed. And I think this is definitely something I will rewatch because I really enjoyed it. Also, I love Kevin Costner, and it was nice to actually see James Earl Jones because I usually only hear his iconic voice in Vader or Mufasa. Sorry. So, very cool nonetheless. Alright, so let's move on to another 2025 release, which is One of Them Days, which was a really funny comedy that, to be honest, I wasn't going to see in theaters. Decided to check it out because I'm sure it's going to be leaving theaters soon. And I had a pretty solid time with it. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. It was quite funny. We have some really great chemistry from our two leads in SZA and Keke Palmer as well, who are both really fun and great in this movie. And overall, it gets pretty crazy, but I had a good time with it and I enjoyed it. 82 out of 100. All right, let's move on. Up next to American Beauty, another Sam Mendes movie, a first of mine, or a first time watch of mine, but really enjoyed this one. Another failing marriage story in the suburbs, which Sam Mendes does very well, clearly. I feel like Sam Mendes's bag of directing is just getting deeper with every movie. We've got Suburbia Life with a sad marriage, to war films, to biopics coming up with the Beatles in a few years, to cinema movies. Like, there's tons. There's to romance, rom-coms. There's a lot to enjoy in Sam Mendes' filmography, and I think he is becoming one of my favorite directors, because I'm really enjoying going through his filmography so far. So 85 out of 100. I enjoyed this movie, and Kevin Spacey does seem like the type to do that. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie as well. 85 out of 100. So let's move on to the top three now, starting it off with The Mummy. A pleasant surprise. Truthfully, I did not expect to like this anywhere near the amount that I did. I had a very fun time with this movie. 89 out of 100. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are amazing and awesome in this movie. They have great chemistry, and I really, really love them. A really fun action epic that I enjoyed. 89 out of 100. Number 2, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which actually Mel and I watched number 2 and number 1 for me this week back to back. Earlier this week, we had a little movie night. We watched two romance movies. I was going to say love movies. Two romance movies because I wanted to watch a little bit more, romance, rom-coms this week and, this upcoming week. Just since it is Valentine's Day on Friday. So, nonetheless, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was a lot of fun. I see a lot of up and down ratings for this movie, which, fair enough, it is a rom-com, of course. Whether you like it or not, that's entirely up to you, and that's probably valid. But Mel and I both really enjoyed it. We both had a good time with it. We both laughed a lot, and we thought it was really funny. And, yeah, we both enjoyed this. 90 out of 100. And let's move on to number 1 of the week, which is La La Land, which I ranked a 99 out of 100, up from a 96 out of 100. And this is a really amazing film with tremendous, tremendous music, tremendous cinematography and use of colors. It is a bright movie which is absolutely beautiful. And if you have lights that sync to your TV, like I do with the Philips Hue Sync lights, what a beautiful movie to watch this with. It is definitely one of the best I've seen. And yeah, I don't even like this. This is a really special movie, and this is now I think my 3rd or 4th musical that I have ranked a 99 out of 100. So I'm excited to see what will be the first perfect, because as much as I did enjoy this a second time and I do love this movie, it's just not quite at the 100 yet. So maybe next time. But nonetheless, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.